Oh, welcome back to the PWC channel for the first type of content we're going to have in season 11 at this point. And you guys who have been around for a little bit longer than just this season will know the recaps that we used to do back in the day for each week. And I'm going to do something similar to that today, where I'm going to go over week 1 of what happened here in the PWC. This is not going to be a weekly thing. Let me just say that right off the bat, because I won't have time to do this every week. But this week I do have time today, so I'm just going to give it a go and go over week 1. And I'm going to start not with the regular PWC, but with something that we as a league have been doing for the first time, and we are very honored to do it. We're going to be competing in the so-called PGP, or Pokemon Grand Prix, where we have been selected to compete against other leagues. And what this is it's basically a couple of leagues that applied, some of the biggest leagues in the world, actually. Some leagues like with crazy numbers, like over 2,000 members. We are not that big yet, but maybe in the future, who knows. So we are going to compete against other leagues in there. And what this is it's 10 representatives for each league. The owner chooses 10 people to rep their league, and that's how it's going to go. 7 of those coaches will face other coaches each week, and we had week 1 last week. Our first week, very exciting because we didn't really know how we would stack up against the other leagues. And I personally was very confident because I have been in several leagues in my draft league career, and I know that this one, PWC, is basically has the strongest coaches of my time in draft, at least. So I knew we were good, and I expect us to do very well in this, to be honest. But yeah, still exciting to have the first week. And let's just go through what happened there. As you can see, the first match is just myself against BB. I'm not going to go through every replay for this. So basically what happened, I did prep with the help of the team, and the prep was really good. The game went very well. There was a hairy moment early in the game where he had Slowking. He chilled receptions into Sid Titan and was out against my Slowking Galar, which could have been really dicey because under Hail, he outsped my entire team, and a belly drum would have been bad news for me if he went for it. And he did, in fact, go for the belly drum. And that's why I knew I had to go for the Focus Blast, which would be the only thing to knock out this Sea Titan. And thankfully, the Hex Gods, the RNG Gods, were on my side in that one. I did actually hit the Focus Blast and took out the Sea Titan before it was able to do anything. And from then on, it was pretty much smooth sailing. I knew that I was going to win this match from then on because, I just had some big threats to his team, like the Gyarados, which ended up taking 3 kills. Superior could have swept. The Slowking Galar could have set up on his passive stuff with Subcall Mind and did damage. So, pretty smooth sailing there. Then we had the Shadow Glade taking on a coach named Sorps and also taking a pretty convincing win. Let's just go through this game really quickly because I don't actually know by hand what happened there. And Shadow Glade is the guy on the opposing side right here. Oh, facing a Terra T-Tar, which is very interesting, who for some reason decides to knock off into this. I probably expected maybe Shadow to switch out, but Samurott is always trying to get hits off early in the game. Yeah, because you want to have those hazards out as long as you can, and then he just starts setting up immediately. Well, I guess that can work, and he's not protective pads. Interesting against the Garchomp. But he is the balloon on Goldengo, which is a very cool choice, especially against the Garchomp team. Oh, this PGP has crazy rules, crazy Terra rules. They have all the high tiers can Terra in that league. It's crazy, actually. This thing is allowed to Terra in that league. So, we've seen last week, I think Spooks, or was it Spooks? One person lost to Terra Ogre Pawn, which is pretty crazy that it's allowed. Alright, so the early game isn't even looking that great for Shadow, to be honest. He's been out-hazarded here, I would say at least. Stealth Rocks and Spikes are definitely better to have up than 2 layers of Spikes. Oh, and then he even sacks the Ribombi to get another layer of hazards off. All the while this spinner right there is still at full health, so that's gonna probably spin at some point. Ooh, opponent misses a Hurricane. Well, that might have been big, like, didn't even know that. Depending if he was like Life Orb, I'm pretty sure that Serena, regardless of the spread, will not be able to live that hit. Maybe if it is, it looks to potentially be Assault Vest actually. Maybe it would have lived the hit regardless. But yeah, definitely very, very good for Shadow right there. And yeah, it looks like he's gonna be able to clean up with this Urshifu maybe right now. And maybe he is the what's it called? What's the item called? That increases the power of punches and doesn't make them be contact moves, because Trailblaze is not a punching move. So yeah, that's actually what he is. Cleans up with the Urshifu. Very nice game plan there with the hazards. Worked out to perfection, taking our second win. Then we had Camel. Camel did take a loss, and yeah, this was pretty unfortunate. Camel didn't have the greatest matchup to begin with, and he did prep really well and really hard. Like he had a good game plan with Ispefra. He's got Terra Ispefra that was supposed to sweep, but it didn't go that well in the game. Ispefra got sacked without doing anything really, and yeah, then he was on the back foot, and yeah, it didn't go well. The opponent prepped really well, suspiciously well, I would say. But yeah, we're not gonna go into that. Then we got Caracasa. That game was actually pretty funny. We have to watch that. I'm sorry, Caracasa. I know this is not your favorite game in the world. He did take the win, but yeah, you will see. So yeah, it starts off going like amazingly well for Caracasa. Like the opponent leads off with Palafin, like the biggest basic biatch you could imagine. And yeah, Caracasa gets a hit off. And yeah, the game just goes really, really well for Caracasa from the start. Here he is pretty bold, staying in with this Tornadus against the Kilo Watchel, knowing that it's probably defensive, and also this Tornadus is Assault Vest, and that's gonna be a big threat for the opponent. He has a hard time taking it down, and he always has this Iron Threats, which should also be a safe switch into Kilo Watchel, unless this is like Terra Water. I'm not even sure if the opponent had Terra. But yeah, out comes the Palafin, which Caracasa just earthquakes, and the reason he did that was because he lost to Palafin, to bulk up Palafin, I think, in prep. So he knew he couldn't just let this bulk up for free, because with Zen Headbutt and Alamomola being unable to break any substitutes, this is just a really big threat to his team. Zen Headbutt also hits the Como, and yeah, it basically just wrecks his entire team. So he knew he had to get the damage off when he could, to keep it low at least, and that's what he did there. Very good choice. But yeah, opponent turned out to not be sub bulk up anyway, which would have been, as I said, like very hard to deal with for Caracasa. So he was definitely glad to see that. Oh yeah, and then he's, for some reason, decides to sack the Alamomola, which I guess the Iron Threats was low, so he wasn't willing to risk that. But yeah, out comes Como, goes for the Clangorous Soul. Is Terra Electric for Klefki to not be able to Thunderwave it, but the Klefki turns out to be the, what's it called, item, Mirror Herb, which is a very cool tech on the opponent's part. And yeah, stored power as well, very cool. Still so weak that it's unable to break a substitute on Como, which is funny. Yeah, but I think now Caracasa, what does he do? Oh, it doesn't do anything, just keeps on. Yeah, no reason to switch out, honestly. He was Very comfy there. Can now take out the clef key. Maybe he should have not gone for the substitute, because then he wouldn't have a light screen out in that. But yeah, this is where it happens actually. Is this where it happens? We'll see. No, the opponent just makes the stupidest play I've ever seen. What was that about? I have no idea what that was about. But yeah, anyway, I think this is where it happens. So yeah, game is basically won, right? Like, well, what is he gonna do? Like, this thing would just die, I think. He's still behind the substitute, so yeah, there's really nothing that he can do. He still has this thing which is Terra, so it could potentially be threatening. I think it was Terra flying, but yeah, out comes Palafin, and what does Caracasa do? Like, watch this. He goes for Clangor's Soul. What the hell? Yeah, so what happened there was Caracasa is pretty blind, you know. He's German. He's like a mole. He lives underground, and so he doesn't see very well when he's out in the light. And what he did is he thought this was Clangorous Scales, or whatever the move is called. Clanging Scales. So he was trying to click Clanging Scales, but his fat fingers hit the Clangorous Soul button, and he just basically choked away the completely winning position with this misclick. And yeah, meaning that the Como is now going to get revenge killed for no reason whatsoever by this Palafin. And yeah, now it's potentially dicey again, because yeah, you have this Espeon, which he predicts very nicely, because yeah, he had to basically. And yeah, thankfully he still has the Assault Vest Tornadoes, which can come out on this Espeon. But yeah, this thing is Terra flying, so definitely potentially dangerous for the Amoonguss. But yeah, he does the right thing here and just goes for Clear Smog, not letting this set up, and because it could be dangerous if he did. But yeah, it's still now, because he can go for Terra Blast, so he definitely beats it 1v1. And yeah, then there is this Palafin, which still has the likely banded Jet Punch in the back. And yeah, just look at the team. This could potentially be dangerous. So he has to hope that Tornado is able to live this hit, which it should be. But then again, it's also not able, look at the moves, to knock it out. So he did have to hit the Bleak Windstorm here. This was his last out. Had he missed that, he would have lost the game actually, because then Palafin just cleaned up. But yeah, really, really funny the way he almost choked this game away due to the misclick. But yep, these things happen, I guess. And yeah, thankfully he was able to hit the Bleak Windstorm. Got the win, 3-0 or 3-1, I think, at this point for PWC, as Camel was the first guy to play and lose the game. But yeah, basically, what I'm trying to say is this week went really well. Ronin Sting won this game with a dramatic comeback. He was really on the back foot, but brought the game back for, I think this was our first win actually, after we were down 1-0. And yeah, pretty much everyone did that job amazingly. Leonard has this really scary Sun team. He's a Sun specialist, the PWC Sun specialist, so we reserved all the Sun mons for him. He's doing amazingly well with it. Also got a really solid win. And yeah, then after that it was like 6-1, 5-1 for us. Hallo lost the last game. He got out prepped really well by his opponent Regal. But yeah, in the end it was 5-2 for the PWC. We take a pretty convincing win week 1, like I suspected we would. I'm expecting us to do very well in this, as I said in the beginning. I still remain that we will be one of the strongest leagues, but yeah, we will see. Time will tell. I might also be just a little bit too confident. And yeah, I'm not going to do the week 2 recap, but just so people can't say I didn't talk about it at all. We did lose week 2, which was really unfortunate against a league that, in my opinion, we were definitely stronger than, but a lot of games just didn't go very well. Like Leighton had his debut, so we can only choose 7 coaches out of 10 to compete each week. And so 3 coaches had to sit out in week 1, and they were able to play week 2 for the first time. This was Leighton, it was Cadillacs, and it was Where is my boy Spooks? It was also having his debut. And yeah, for the most part, the debutants, Cadillacs and Leighton, won their matches. Cadillacs in like um, incredibly close fashion. He was about to get 6-0'd by a setup Terra Nick Rosma and just brought the game back completely with Holucha, like 6-0 comeback sweep. Won the game 2-0. Opponent was really salty, which was funny. And yeah, Leighton just very convincing win. It was only quote unquote a 1-0, but just a really convincing performance in my opinion. And yeah, other than that, just the games didn't go in our direction like at all. Like Shadow Glade, to be honest, that was just a clean win on the opponent. He prepped really well and there was not much to be said. Spooks, I believe, lost to the Terra Ogre pawn, which was also pretty clean game. But yeah, this is where the Leonard game basically, like, oh no, this was not a clean game at all. Now I remember. Yeah, Spooks and his opponent Mana Burn, they played and they had a disconnect mid match where the showdown servers, like for some reason randomly, like they like to do, stop working, and they had to postpone the match and pick it up where if with the game state they left, which was really tricky because Spooks was just setting up with his Roaring Moon. It was his +2. Depending on the sets on Klefki and Gliscor, which his opponent had, it could have swept. But yeah, they picked up the game with the game state they had, and obviously they revealed a couple of moves, but they didn't reveal everything. And you just gotta trust that the opponent didn't change their sets, but they did end up having the perfect set for the situation with Magnet Rise Klefki, which was obviously able to stop the setup Roaring Moon, which I suppose is actually credible prep, right? If you're prepping for a Roaring Moon, it's not like unheard of to bring Magnet Rise Klefki. It's actually like makes sense. So yeah, we will just trust that the opponent didn't like meddle with the sets to fit the situation that we picked the game up with. And yeah, Spooks was really confident before the picking it up again. He thought he was en route to winning this game. Yeah, in my opinion, that was just not the case. Honestly, it was really close. It was really close. It could have gone both ways. Unfortunately, the opponent like got 1-2 plays right in the end and just edged out, took a narrow win there. Could have definitely been Spooks' game, but maybe, hopefully, he can redeem himself this week. It definitely played well, though. No fault on him. But yeah, it was another loss. Then we had Leonard. Leonard was really unfortunate. I'm just gonna go just through the beginning of that match because this match, he had a really good team, really good matchup with the Sun, but unfortunately this game was over turn 1. He leads off with the Walking Wake. This thing, he's gonna lead off with the worst one in the game, aka Garganical. It's Terra Garganical. It's Terra Water Garganical, as you can see here. And yeah, watch what happens now. He just decides, well, I can't do much. Flip turn out into what? Let me go into Torkoal and watch what happens. He gets blocked. Absolutely bear trap turn 1. No way to prevent what's happening now. Like he cannot do anything against this Garganical with the Torkoal. Like nothing he can do. He can switch out. He's gonna lose his Sun. It's gonna take a million turns, so the Sun is not gonna be in effect at all. The opponent can put up Stealth Rocks. Yeah, just absolute worst case situation. Turn 1, having to play this entire game without Sun, when the entire game plan revolves around Sun. Like, look at this monster. Like, all these are Sun boosted thingies that really aren't even half as good without the Sun. So, yeah, the opponent just got him there with the prep. Turn 1, absolutely trapped, and comfortably won the game after that. And yeah, lastly, we will still mention that Karakasa absolutely stomped his opponent. Like, that wasn't even funny. It was a straight 6-0. Poor guy, JK, got completely smacked. And yeah, after that it was 3-3. heading into the last game. And Camel versus Axel was the last match. Unfortunately, Camel just lost that barely. It was also a pretty close match, but yeah, in the end, unfortunately, Camel lost that. So yeah, it's 1-1 for the PWC after 2 weeks. We are still actually tied for second place because pretty much every league that won week 1 lost week 2, apart from this league, MBTL. I don't know them, but they seem to be incredibly strong. Like they pretty much stomped both their opponents week 1 and 2. So definitely looking forward to facing those guys when that happens. I think it happens pretty late in the season, but yeah, we are still very much on course to making playoffs. We just have to be in these top 4. So just picking up the win again and go from there. All right, that's it for PGP. Really exciting project for our league. I'm so glad we got invited to play there, and we are definitely hoping to do our best. All right, with that out of the way, let me go straight into the regular season recap, for starting with the Indigo Division, our top division, our top showdown division, where we have 4 tiers. And yeah, really exciting. First of all, the lineup we have in Indigo Division. I have a lot of coaches from the old times that make their comeback in the top division. Like notably, we have Gert Bilbo, who has been competing. I think the last time in top division was in like season 5, which is an eternity ago. We got Caracasa making his comeback. Also, he like was back in season 5 and 6, where he was in top division. I think season 7 still. But yeah, last season he was our Division 2 winner. Then we got Prof, absolute OG of the server. Like he was around. He was the only coach to play every season from seasons 1 to 9. Then he set out the season 10 and is now back for season 11. Glad to have him back. Definitely. And yeah, Moonlight, like another old-timey coach from prior seasons. He also did really well in his comeback last season in Division 2, so he moves up. And yeah, then we have a couple of newcomers that I'm really excited about. But yeah, let me just start by going through the matches. We have Zayed, absolute staple in Division 1, taking on Gert Bilbo, and Gert like completely dominated him in his comeback match. Really glad for Gert. He seems to be getting into the season really well. Then the second game, we have a newcomer that convinced us very much in his application with the replays, very strong replays. Seemed to be a competent coach, and it looks like we didn't make a bad choice there because he was taking on Starvin Pick week 1. He did take a loss, like 1-0, but yeah, I mean, Starvin, at this point, you gotta say, like, I wouldn't say this out loud, like, but at this point, you gotta have Starvin, like, on your list for amongst the better coaches in this league for sure. So losing 1-0 to Starvin, even though he has stupid wordier as a signature again, definitely not a bad first impression there. Then we got our reigning and defending champ, Mr. Sun himself, Leonard, taking on Caracasa after moving up again. And yeah, 5-0 doesn't look very, very good for Caracasa here, this result at least. I didn't watch the match, and I'm not gonna because we are gonna have a lot of time to spend here anyway. But yeah, it doesn't look like Caracasa had the best comeback. But yeah, you can never count him out, really. He will struggle sometimes, but he will rarely miss playoffs, in my opinion. But let's see what happens. Then we got Camel, who people voted as the #1 seed for Indigo Division in our preseason voting, which I can understand. It's definitely a very dominant coach. He isn't always perfect in his record, but yeah, like I watched this replay earlier. So Kung Fu Panda, it looks also another newcomer. Looks like he just completely got stomped by Camel there, but this was not the case. This was an incredibly good match. Very, very defensive, very long. It was at least 70 turns, but yeah, it just shows why Camel is he's such a calculated player. Like he rarely makes any mistakes. Like when you get in a long battle with him, it's really hard to keep up. Like he will not make any mistakes. Doesn't matter if the game is 150 turns. he will just keep this focus up. And yeah, just an amazing performance. I gotta say it. Like I like to trash for him just for the memes, but yeah, that was just really strong. And in the end, it was a 5-0, but this was a very strong showing, to be honest, by Kung Fu Panda. He did very well. Camel just methodically, slowly, with Chiyu and hazards by Fortress, just with each turn, his advantage got a little bit, just a tiny bit. He was able to whittle the opposing team down, which was being held together by a Wish Vaporeon. Very nice game. If you want to watch it, can definitely recommend it. Absolutely high level gameplay there. Then we got the return of Prof against Papa Smurf, aka Polito Shark, which who made his debut last season in the Johto League. And yeah, like we have said many times now, he was just nowhere near belonging into Johto League. Like it was very clear that it was at least Division 2, if not Division 1 caliber coach from the start. And yeah, so that's why we put him into Division 1 this season, because he really needs to be. And yeah, he just got the win over Prof. And yeah, because Prof is my old buddy from prior years, I'm actually going to watch this match. Oh, no fucking way. Prof, for some reason, has this undying love for Vespiquen. he insists on bringing this thing, like every season he drafts it, because he legit thinks this is a good one. Like he's like, why? But it has stats. It can U-turn. It can defog. It's a good mon. Let me tell you. This is so ridiculous, man. I have no idea how this guy is always doing so well. But yeah, he does draft Vespiquen for some reason. Actually brings it to a match. Deserves to lose this 1-0, I can already tell. The Arcleops is his signature, so it's gonna Terra. And what the hell is he doing? This is Prof, man. This guy is gonna stay an Enigma forever. Does he not know what Palafin does? Like, he doesn't even Terra. Just, yeah, let me get into Defeate's range, turn 1. Why not? It could work out, right? Okay. Well, I guess the Vespiquen does actually do decent against Rillaboom, except Rillaboom gets acrobatics, so it can definitely get around Vespiquen still, but yeah, let's disregard that. So yeah, out comes the Archeops. Let's see if it is Roost. Maybe it's Roost. No, it's not. It's just, he just was like, yeah, I think this really, what this thing really wants is it wants to get into Defeatist range, because it just is way too strong if it is not, like. So yeah, he balanced it out. Like he saw, okay, this is broken. I cannot do this in good conscience. So let me just have it Defeatist turn 1. Amazing, amazing. All right, but yeah, loses the Eviolite on the Porygon, gets a discharge off, gets a little bit, let's say he does not get lucky, at least. Doesn't get the para on Torn, which would have been nice. And yeah, looks like Polita Shark did not prep his Rillaboom to get around this Vespiquen, which is definitely understandable. But yeah, it looks, to be honest, like Prof has zero answers to this Palafin. If your answer to Palafin is Empoleon, which is weak to close combat and can't do anything to it back apart from getting the burn hex, then you are very likely to lose this match. Like, it needs a bit of chip on Garchomp, and that's game. So yeah, not looking pretty for Prof here. And also he's scale shot, but he's not the, oh, it's Mega Garchomp, that's why. Oh, that's it. Huh, but this is dicey for Polito Shark. Let's see if this Grassy Glide kills. No, it does not kill, because Garchomp is really, really bulky on the physical side. But yeah, now he can thingy it. Yeah. Switches into Empoleon. So this is probably banded. If he predicts this ever, he can just spam the water move afterwards. But yeah, now it has roosted up. He needs to predict it once. If he does, then he can probably just one-shot it with close combat and spam the water move after that. All right. Dragapult, which cannot do much to Empoleon, but I guess he just wants to have this low because he knows once this is low enough, he can just spam the water move. Yeah, but Prof was well prepared for pulled at least. All right, Scyther comes out, which is probably a signature, I would guess, but it's not heavy duty boots, so that definitely hurt for him. I wonder why he switched it out there. He must have dual wing beat, right? I would assume at least. Interesting. This is a longer match than I would have liked, to be honest. Now he switches Vespiquen into a flying move. What? What in the world? Well, Vespiquen, at least it did something. It walled Rillaboom, right? So, yeah, he doesn't let him roost. It's way too smart. He knows the Palafin is just about to clean up this game. Goes for Drain Punch. Yeah, because he knows there's no switch in for Drain Punch left. Doesn't want to get close combated. Yeah, it's a close result for sure, but it looks very calculated on Polito's part. He pretty much has to win 100% here because now he can taunt it. It's gonna be dead now, and now he can lock himself into the water move with the Palafin and just clean up from there. Prof. Okay, makes another completely senseless play. Why did he just go into Porygon in the first place? Oh, because he wanted him to lock himself into the water move. That's why. Yeah, he's so unconventional, Profis. Ah, wait. Nah, he can still lock himself into Drain Punch. Wouldn't have made a difference. But yeah, very nicely played by Politoshark. And Prof, yeah, Prof showed why he is Prof. Very, very unconventional. For some reason, it works for him. Like, he's always doing well. Has been historically. Makes playoffs pretty much every time. Has been in finals before. Never won the league, but yeah, I don't know. Like, you can't tell me the defeatist play turn one was not like completely brain meltingly stupid. Like, I can talk like this, by the way. He's my buddy, so I can say what I want. And also he's Bavarian, so he doesn't have a soul anyway, so no reason to be salty here. But yeah, I don't know why did he stay in turn one. I don't understand. Maybe he could have done something with this Archeops even if he did not. But yeah, good game. Was definitely fun to watch. Congrats to Polijo for the win here. Then we got Venom versus ACS, a match of two coaches who moved up from last season's Division 2. Both of them did not win, but they made playoffs and they had really convincing performances. So we had four coaches moving up in total. We had the winner, Caracasa, we had the regular season winner, Moonlight, and then we chose these two guys because they were really strong in our estimation. Like Venom had a good result in regular season, and ACS just stood out with his play. Like, he's a really good player. So we knew he would be able to hold his own in Division 1. And he did in week 1. Actually got a close win over Venom. But yeah, we will see how the season goes for these two guys. I'm really excited to see how this all goes. Then we got another very interesting coach, aka Shoot Drip, who also debuted in our completely overpowered Johto League last season. Came in as a replacement and was pretty much the only guy to be able to hold a torch to Politoshark even a little bit, but he still lost in finals. But yeah, we thought he also did well in the off season, so we thought he would be able to hold his own in the Division 1. And yeah, he actually did in his first match against our Mr. Turtles squad, Siroga, who did pretty well last season, all things considered, in Division 1 with his semi sort of meme team-ish. But yeah, in week 1, he definitely got dominated by Shoot Trip this time. And then we have the return of Cadillacs versus Moonlight. And yeah, this does not look pretty. Moonlight got 6-0. So yeah, our Division 2 guys didn't do so well week 1. Like, they played each other and got a narrow win for one, but the other two coaches moving up took a loss. So that is rough, a rough welcome into Division 1. And the newcomers did, in my opinion, very well. Like Kung Fu Panda, as I said, like this was a really good match, really good performance. He's gonna do well, let me tell you. And Broccoli only quote unquote lost 1-0 against Starving Pig. That's also not too shabby, leaving us with the following standings. Starvin also already played his week 2, beat Cadillacs after his 6-0 week 1 win. Is now our frontrunner. Yeah, then we got the usual suspects up top. We got Leonard, our defending champ. We got Camel, who people have voted, as I said, the number 1 seed for good reason. And yeah, some other guys that you expect to do well, like Cadillacs. Papa Smurf should be a dark horse. They could definitely win this. Prof is gonna do well for some godforsaken reason. Nobody understands why, but he is gonna. And yeah, can't wait to see how this season is gonna pan out. And yeah, with that, let me move on to Division 2, aka Lanakila Division. All right, in Lanakila Division, our second tier in Showdown, we have a lot of faces that we do know, like Fakolako from last season. We got Leighton, our admin, Spooks, admin, Mimiko from last season, ES, aka Saint 70, moving up from a division below that, Barney returning, Yasha Indigo moving down from Division 1, as well as Ronan Sting also moving down. He pretty much, like, he has been campaigning because for some reason he doesn't like challenges. He's like one of those guys who would rather play in a league like where he's like this chess master that would like to go into the beginners class because he can just thrash all the students and laugh at them. I don't know what his deal is, but yeah, he does not like to play against people his own size. He wants to beat up on people who he thinks he's better than. So he always wanted to play in the lowest division. But yeah, obviously we can't have that. He's just way too strong. And so what he decided to do is he decided to, like last season, let a wheel draft his team so that he would do bad and eventually move down at least into the second tier. And that's actually what he did. So he did let a wheel decide his team, as far as I know, and he did really poorly in last season. So now he is finally able to move down again into the chosen land, into the not the chosen land, the promised land is what it's called. Division 2, where he did well. Let me just start from the bottom now. Week 1 against Bummer, who is moving up from Johto League after doing well in Johto League, as well as doing really well in the off season where he made it all the way to finals before losing to a girl called Bun Hera, which was funny. She never played a regular season, but she won the off season this season. And yeah, Ronan, really solid performance week 1, as you would expect. He also got chosen, to the surprise of no one, as the number 1 seed for Division 2. People expect him to win this, and yeah, you can definitely understand why. Like, he's probably in the upper tier, upper half of coaches in top division usually when he's actually like playing for realsies. And yeah, we expect him to do well in the Division 2. Then we got a newcomer called Bloody 359, and yeah, he must have been really convincing in the replays. We don't usually put coaches this high just off the get-go. Unfortunately, we have so many newcomers each time, I can't really tell you anything about his application or replay or who he is. But he did lose pretty badly to the Scary Smoliv week 1. Our returning coach, Scary Smoliv, former finalist of Division 2 in season 8, I believe. And yeah, definitely a strong coach for sure, but yeah, Bloody needs to step up his game. Hopefully we didn't do him a disservice here, putting him in Division 2, but we will find that out as the season goes on. Then we got another coach moving down from top division, aka Yasha. He's not called Yasha Indigo anymore, out of protest due to us removing him from the top division when it is called Indigo Division, which obviously has his name written on it. He now is called Yasha Lanakila because he's in Lanakila Division, which actually is pretty funny. But Yeah, he did win his week 1 against Riptide, who also did really well in the off season. He did fine in last season's Division 2. He made playoffs, but he definitely did really well in the off season. I think he made it all the way to semifinals before losing to the eventual winner, Bunhara, whatever. Yeah, but lost his week 1 to Yasha Indigo. Then we got another returning coach called Barney. Barney, with his meteoric rise through the divisions, started out in bottom division, I think, and or am I lying? I'm not sure. But ever since he's in the league, he made finals in Division 3 actually in his debut season. Lost to SMO there, and yeah, last season got number 2 seed in regular season or number 3 seed in Division 2, so doing really well, but lost to a newcomer called Asylum GS83. So yeah, this seems to be a very strong newcomer. Yeah, he must have been really impressive with the replays, otherwise we wouldn't have put him here. And yeah, definitely confirms this impression with a huge week 1 win over Barney. So yeah, one to watch out for. We will keep an eye on him. Maybe if we have more time, if we do this again in the future, we can even watch his replay. But I'm not going to do it this time. Then we got Saint 70 ES moving up from Division 3. Definitely also like a huge big mouth for sure. We love to have him around the league. He's very, very active member. Always yeah, delivering a lot of content in the chat for sure for others to read. And yeah, really, really strong debut here. He said, I think he said something like, yeah, I wouldn't lose every match top division. You should put me in top division or something like that. I mean, he always has really brash opinions, but yeah, obviously that's not how it works. Like he did, I think he was started in Division 3 or was it Division 4 even, and he did fine. He did well actually. He made it to semis, I believe. But yeah, I mean, this is not a case of like you jump the line all the way to Division 1, right? Like that's not how it works. You move up one division to Division 2, and then you do well there, and then you might get your shot at Division 1. But you gotta prove yourself in Division 2 first. This is how these tiered things work, unless you have a case like Polito Shark, where it's just obvious that it doesn't make any sense because yeah, we would just waste a couple of seasons just to have him move up. So yeah, did beat Mimiko, who's a really strong coach himself. Like he can definitely make playoffs. Like all these coaches, Smoliv, Riptide, Mimiko, these are all solid contenders for playoffs, in my opinion. Then we got another newcomer, Kimius, taking on our admin Spooks and also get another win. So I'm always really proud to see when we are just right with our impression from these replays, because yeah, it's always a risk. Like these unknown guys, put them in the high tier and taking up a spot there. But yeah, definitely can tell if he's gonna beat Spooks 4-0. He's definitely a solid coach. So welcome, Kimius. We are really excited to see what else he can do. Maybe if we do recording still, hopefully I will have time for that. Then maybe I can catch a game of his eventually. Then we got Leighton versus another newcomer called Catherine. Just a 3-0 for Leighton. Really solid week 1 performance. I did not watch the game, but I'm assuming that Catherine held her own at least a little bit. So hopefully she is going to be a fine contender too. And then we got Fakolako, our last season late bloomer, who started really badly and then still made playoffs, winning his last 4 matches. Taking the week 1 win over for the Legion, who also new, but I definitely recognize him because he likes to ask questions in chat a lot. So he definitely caught my attention already. And yeah, that was it for week 1 in Lanakila Division. Leaving us with the following standings. Ronan Sting already played his week 2. What a nerd he is. And he won both of them, taking the number 1 spot for now. He's probably going to lose it, to be honest, because one of these guys is going to win and have a better differential at the end of it. But yeah, for now, he's going to be at the top spot, as you would expect him to, because he is the #1 seed. And yeah, followed by Saint 70 and Smoliv, who both do have a +5 record. And yeah, there you go. You have all the guys moving down from top division doing well. You got the admin Leighton doing well. He really wants to move up to top division. He's another one of those guys who has been calling himself into top division really early, but yeah, I mean, like it's like the same goes for him as for everyone else. Like if you're not proving yourself to do really well in Division 2 or in Wi-Fi for that matter, you can't just like on what basis would we put you into Div 1? We can't just say, yeah, we like you, you are admin, we think you're good or something. You really got to prove it, right? And yeah, he's definitely setting out to do that this season, and I know he can do it. Like he is a really good coach, but it's also about, for him, it's also about keeping the focus, right? Like he can play really well, but you got to prove it, right? You got to prove it over a season. And yeah, let's see. Hopefully he can do it. And yeah, same goes for Saint 70. These guys, I would love to have them in the top division soon. All right, that is going to be it from Lanakila Division. Moving on to our division number 3, called Rage Division. And yeah, starting with Rage Division, I would say that I really love this name. I love this division names we have this season, like every single one. I think Lanakila Division sounds really cool. Rage Division sounds amazing. And Origin Division is a really nice name for the bottom division. So yeah, that's my first 4 thoughts on Rage Division. Let's just go through who is competing here. This is basically, since we had the fiasco with Jodo League last season, where we just put a lot of newcomers that submitted themselves as being rather inexperienced and put them into Jodo League, took their word for it, and it turned out to be like, for the most part, a Division 2 level division. We decided to put most of the guys in Rage Division this season, which is not the lowest tier, but one above that. And then, yeah, let's just let the wheat separate itself from the chaff in there. And yeah, so we have a lot of newcomers in here. And then some of the really solid coaches we know from prior seasons, like our former champion Jactus, former champion Scary Monsters Over Heaven in Division 3, both of them. So yeah, we know they are solid. And yeah, let me just look through it. I think that's it. No, we have Graf Payne. He competed in Wi-Fi. Definitely one of those coaches who has been in the lower tiers for the most part in recent seasons, but he's been doing actually quite well in Wi-Fi, and we think it was time for him to move up at least from the bottom tier into this Division 3. And then we got X Atzale, aka By Mythic, who I think was also in Jodo League last season. Did really well there and definitely should move up a spot. Same goes for Nightwing J, who also was doing at least okay in Jodo League, definitely good enough to move up a spot. And then we got the return of Blooper, who is also a debutant from Jodo League and came in as a recent replacement for a newcomer coach who dropped really early. So yeah, those are the known coaches. Apart from that, the rest of those guys are all new, and I'm gonna go through it as we move along. We have the first match. Newcomer Bielly James, aka Savage Raccoon 8. Really can't say anything about any of those guys, but I know that Bielly James has been voted as the last seed for Rage Division. Oh, I'm gonna get to that when I get to that. Yeah, he's been voted as the last seed, but I mean, it doesn't mean much. People just don't know him. People vote based on teams, and yeah, maybe even if they don't know anyone, they will just pick a name to make playoffs. And yeah, not many people chose Bielly James to do well. But he did win week 1 against fellow newcomer Savage Raccoon 8. So yeah, let's see how both these guys are doing. Should we just watch the replay? Since we don't have much to talk about otherwise, let's just watch the replay. Bielly versus Savage Raccoon. Yep, turn 1, nasty plot. Always a good sign that you know you are probably not in there with the most experienced coaches. But yeah, it did work out for him. He did get a kill out of it. He probably predicted the Barraskewda to just flip turn out. I don't know if a bandit okay, switches out because he fears the Aquajet. I don't know if a bandit liquidation would have just taken this out. It might have actually, but yeah, it did work out for him. So that's good for him. Get some spikes up here with the Samurott, which is honestly, yeah, that's just what Samurott does. Wait, the Polytoad it just perish songed, okay? Like, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's usually perish song is like better when you have your opponent trapped. So that did not work out too well. That's like 2 months up for Bialy. As Savage Raccoon now is able to remove those rocks, and it's a life orb Armaldo, which is very interesting. Oh, it's the Terra Captain. Oh, because it is Swift Swim, but yeah, this was also not played ideally on his part. But now finally he gets his first kin with the dual wing beat on the Hitmonchan. Which, by the way, what is the Terra Captain? This must have been the Terra Captain. I wonder why he didn't. Bialy didn't Terra there. Very interesting. Oh yeah, this is looking like trouble. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. I'm pretty sure the Hurricane would have put this thing into bullet punch range. And uh nah, this wouldn't have changed anything. Like depending. It depends. It could have changed something if this thing is not banded, but I think it's banded. Yeah. If it was banded, then it didn't matter. But if it was not banded, then landing the Hurricane would have put the thingy in bullet punch range. Then bullet punch takes it out. Then something takes out the scissor. And then he could have potentially with the combination. Also, he definitely cleans these two up with the water move. But then obviously he needs Crunch to take out the Situai. So maybe he would have, with a prediction, it might have actually mattered. This could have been close, depending on some predictions if the Hurricane hit. But yeah, I mean it's Hurricane. It's not always gonna hit. So yeah, GG, definitely an interesting match between Bialy Games or James and Savage Raccoon right there. Then we got this amazing game between Blooper and Scary Monsters Over Heaven, which doesn't actually exist because it hasn't happened yet. Because the guy that had this spot dropped, I don't even remember the name, and I'm not gonna bother to remember the name because they dropped without playing a match. Then we got Nightwing J. I'm very happy to have Nightwing J playing another early replacement, aka J Moo, and also a newcomer. But yeah, Nightwing J definitely won this game, which is cool. Congrats, Nightwing J. Another coach who I hope to have around for a long time. Still competing in the gym challenge, I believe, where he is currently making a run at the Elite Four. Another newcomer battle between Jace Husky and Mikey Mike. And yeah, looking at these results, oh boy, Jace Husky seems dangerous because he did win week 1 5-0. I mean, that could mean anything. Mikey Mike is also new. We don't know him that well, but he did win week 2 against Blooper 5-0. And Blooper is not a bad player. Blooper actually should be a threat in this division, I believe. So yeah, Jace Husky looking like the dark horse here. Definitely keep an eye out for him. Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe I will try to catch a match of his on the channel. Then we got that's a big week 1 match. We got Tox versus Jactus. So Tox is new to the PWC, but he's not new to many of us because he has been competing in the was it the ETA? No, it was the DPL, Mr. Grimes' league, where he has been competing for quite some time, and we know him as a strong coach from over there. Like, he's normally doing really well, and he is actually the number one seed, has been voted the number one seed for Rage Division. So that is because many people know him, and we know that he is really strong. So he definitely deserves this. But yeah, I think Jactus is like number 2 or 3 seed. So we know he's always doing well. Like, he's making playoffs every time. It's been a while. I think he's got like a little bit of a quarterfinals curse going on. He's always making playoffs, but he rarely goes far in playoffs. So hopefully he can change that this season. Hopefully he will have another good run. Definitely had a good start so far, and maybe he can have a better playoff run this time. And yeah, Tox, I'm pretty sure, will come back from this and make a good run himself. Then we got another match of 2 newcomers, RJ, which I really can't say anything about. Like, I don't know what to say about his application because I don't remember it, and him being in Division 3, you could say, is like the default. He had a good application in the sense that we did accept him to be here, but yeah, we will see how he does. Against Ty, the guy who's also new, but we know him from the ETA. He's been in the ETA. He's also like campaigning for himself. Like, you definitely notice him, right? He always talks a bit in chat, and he said like, yeah, people from the ETA can win in PWC. And yeah, it's all well and good to say that. You can say that, but there are also facts, like, right? Like, facts exist in the world, and I don't think there has been a single win from an ETA guy in PWC like ever. I don't think like ETA guys have been in PWC since the dawn of time. There hasn't been a single win of an ETA guy that was legit. Like, all the games that they did actually win were fake games, like a simulation. So I don't know. I'm still not convinced. Like, this does say 4-0, but who knows if this is actually a real guy. Like, if I were to click this link right now, I'm not gonna do it. But because I know this is like some sort of virus scam, like people would be getting my credit card information, something like that. This is not actually a game of Pokemon that this happens. So yeah, I mean, maybe one day the ETA can actually win a game in PWC, but it doesn't look likely. So moving on to the next game, which is by Mythic, aka X Atzale, against another newcomer called Downpour Rivalet. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but I mean, can you blame me? I don't think you can. And by Mythic did well in last season's Johto League, made it to semifinals, put up a good fight against Polito Shark in there, and won his week 1 match here in Rage Division. So yeah, that looks like a promising start. I can definitely see him making playoffs at least. Definitely can see it, and yeah, who knows? It's all to play for in playoffs. So I'm excited to see how his run will go this season. And then we got the last match. Graf Payne coming back into the showdown territory from Wi-Fi and like getting completely like how would you say this? It's not a very warm welcome back into Showdown by It's VHEX, and It's VHEX is also new to the PWC, coming from Grimes' DPL, where he's also been doing well. So he's like, he could be in a similar category as Tox. So these guys I expect to do well. Like, if you ask my personal opinions, like who do I have on my list doing well, it would be It's VX, it would be Tox, it would be Jactus, because he always does. It would be SMO, because SMO, like, he's really hot and cold, but he is really strong, like, when he's on. And then obviously you gotta have, after these results, you gotta have Jace Husky on your list. And potentially still Blooper, but I mean, 5-0 looks rough. So yeah, we will see. Blooper still has to settle into this league as a replacement. So yeah, these were the week 1 results. And there have been a lot of week 2 games already. So let's just look at the standings right now. SMO, absolutely balanced record. Doesn't exist. Still hasn't played a single game. Maybe try playing one. And yeah, we do have Jace Husky at the... Wait, What the heck is this? See, this is what I mean. Like, this is not actually real. Tai the guy coming straight from ETA, and it says here 2 wins, but this is not real. Trust me. And yeah, Chase Husky, really strong, +10, really solid. Tai the guy also doing well as VHEX and Jactus. VHEX also won both his games. Yeah, as I said, I believe VHEX is going to do very well. And I'm expecting Tox to move up into that echelon soon myself. So yeah, it's going to be very exciting. And here on the lower side, we do have some of the newcomers, a lot of the newcomers actually. J-Moo, Savage Raccoon, RJ, Mikey Mike, still with potential to grow, definitely. And yeah, I mean, I hopefully, even if like some of these guys aren't going to be doing so well in terms of results, I hope you can still have fun, because the way this works in PWC is if you're doing not so hot, you would be moving down into the Origin Division or whatever it's going to be called next season, where you will have a new fresh start and hopefully can pick up the results from there. So don't be too dejected if the results aren't there right off the bat. There's always something coming next. All right, that is it for the Rage Division. Very, very interesting one. Moving on to the Origin Division, which is the division with like the so much PWC history in there. Absolutely my favorite division, as it has been so many times. But there's like only 1 or 2 newcomers. We know most of these guys, and many of these guys have a place in my heart because they have been around for such a long time, and I actually do enjoy many of these people. Namely, we have JJ Games, very big personality, debut in season 10. Thunder Tinker, the league's weatherman, who's been running around chasing storms, sometimes posting like stuff in the sports and country channel. Very interesting person. Then we got the comeback of Time Vault. I'm so glad to have Time Vault back. He's actually a PWC legend from the early days, like starting from season 4. He's been having a hiatus for some time now. Hopefully he can be. He also got engaged, so congrats for that. Hopefully he can be doing well this season. Jax, who's been around for a long time, DPL legend Jax. We got Anu, he's been around since season 3, played a whole of 7 seasons, which is amazing, incredible. One of the most senior people in the league, period. And then we got Scepter Bird back from like season 7 or something. And obviously, then we got the game of games, like week 1. We get the absolute El Clasico of PWC, like all the wine drinking PWC connoisseurs are waiting for this game all season. Mr. Grimes versus HTC Attila. Attila from Hungary, you know him if you are in this league because he's always posting content from his food, and he's just a nice guy in general. We love him so much. He's been around since season 7, and we don't want to miss him ever. And Mr. Grimes, obviously being the league's protagonist, like he is, if this was a Netflix series, he would be the main character. He would be the one we follow around on his trials and tribulations. And he had a really strong last season. In Johto League, he actually made playoffs, and I believe made it all the way to, was it semis or quarterfinals? Something like that. He definitely survived at least one round of playoffs. But yeah, did not win it. And yeah, we decided we could have moved him up, but since we didn't know if this was going to be another case of Division 3 being like all the newcomers, and then we have like a Polito Shark in there, we decided like it's time for him to also have. I didn't want to screw him over again. Let's say it that way. So yeah, this is we know everyone here, and this is going to be a really cool competition. Like it's not like these people are bad, but we know that they are on a similar level, let's say. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting season, and I can't wait to see how it's going to go. So yeah, Grimes takes the win over Attila in this match. Close, very close, 1-0. Yeah, I wish. Actually, I have to watch this. This would be disrespectful not to watch this. Oh yeah, also Attila Attila has Smeargle as the signature, which is just amazing. And yeah, Fake Out is also, yeah, look at this. This is what I mean. You have the chilling water on tornadoes. Why not? Oh yeah. Okay, so this seems to be a somewhat legit Smeagol set here with the Stone Axe. Fake out Spore, Stone Axe, Protect. Yeah, the Protect is a bit random, but who are we to judge? All right, out comes this thing. I wonder if this must be his signature, which is a very interesting signature. I wouldn't call it the best one, but interesting for sure. Out comes a Sleeping Tornadus, which gets... Ooh, Poison Jab does so much damage. That might be banded, actually. Switches to Smeargle to Fake Out. The deadly Fake Out on the Slowking. To Protect on the Chilly Reception, yeah. And now the... Wait. No, this is Regenerator. He took more damage than this. But yeah, Smeargle with the almighty attack does like 20% to Tornadus with Stone Axe before it puts it to sleep again. So it definitely did some work for Mr. Grimes here, which we are happy about. And then he packs the light screen on this thing. Interesting. Yeah, the Sacred Sword is gonna ignore these defense boosts. So that's that's good for Mr. Grimes, but yeah, obviously it's not gonna ignore them on the Body Press. The Body Press is still gonna do a lot of damage. So yeah, really, really interesting match as you would expect it to be. Out comes the Aloe on Reuniclus, and yeah, I mean, Aloe is not what you want to bring out on the Reuniclus. Actually, looking at this, this Reuniclus should be sweeping this entire team. If this is Calm Mind, this would be game, barring the Baxcalibur, which can maybe overpower it while doing a lot of damage. Taking a lot of damage, I should say. But yeah, the rest of this team, this should be a 6-0 right now with Calm Mind. Like he has nothing for this Reuniclus. That's crazy. He only has this, and this has to take it out, which it does. Oh, it was a Sword Vest. So yeah, it wasn't quite as big a threat, but still, it could have still won this game for Attila, for sure. Oh, this is Scarf Ogerpon. Interesting. Outspeeding and killing the Baxcalibur, which is... So this is a really close, really cool match, actually. Man, Attila, the Reuniclus, man, that was it. That was your win con. But yeah, still very close. You can definitely tell while it ended 1-0. This thing's still asleep. But it's gonna wake up eventually. Ingrid. Colossum. Colossum is now fast. Gets a kill, actually. And is still gonna be outsped even at +4 speed. Oh no, it's not. I thought it would be outsped by this Joverpon. Yeah, he is Shukaberry. Oh, the Shukaberry actually wins the game for him. Wait. Wait. Why did he lock himself into play rough? Well, I guess. Well, yeah, really, really tight, but he seems to be locked into this play rough right now. Had he locked himself into like knockoff? Had he had knockoff and locked himself into that, I think Attila actually wins that. So yeah, really close game, really interesting game. Very cool to watch for sure. Congrats to Mr. Grimes for the first win this season. And yeah, then we have the two newcomers. We have three newcomers actually here, and two of them were facing off in Wolfpack for Life versus Backpack Boy, who is from Norway. Don't know much about Wolfpack for Life, but he did win the first game. Congrats. Debut win, always nice. Then we got the return of Wyatt 117 from last season. I'm really glad about that because he was very reliable. He competed in both the Wi-Fi and Showdown divisions last season because it was a replacement in Wi-Fi. And I'm glad that he seems to be doing better now. He won his first match against Scepter Bird, returning from Season 8. And yeah, I'm just excited to see all around who is going to be doing well here in this division. Oh, by the way, I should say, Mr. Grimes is the #1 seed, has been voted the #1 seed for the Origin division. So yeah, let's see if he can justify that, because I'm saying that because we are now moving on to the #2 seed, which is Anubion. People are believing that Anubion is going to be doing well, which I would absolutely love that because, as I said, he's been around for such a long time. We always want him to do well. But week 1, he did lose against the newcomer Toughest Tangerine, which I don't know much about Toughest Tangerine, but I know that Toughest Tangerine is an awesome name. So yeah, I can definitely get on board with that. Then we got our early season star, Jax, who won both his games. He won against Seahawks SK, another newcomer from last season, who has been very active on the server, and we definitely appreciate him as a member a lot. So yeah, did lose week 1, but can definitely come back. I like losing 1-0 is basically not even a loss because your differential is not screwed up. So that's gonna be fine for SK, I'm sure. Time Vault lost to Dead Pants, who is yet another newcomer from last season. And yeah, just close, 2-0. Nothing too bad, can definitely come back from that. Same goes for Thunder Tinker, who lost against Greg Silo, once again, like Dead Pants and like JJ and like Wyatt, all newcomers like Seahawks. They are all newcomers from last season. Also, nothing too bad, and I'm pretty sure Thunder Tinker is going to make playoffs in this, I believe, at least. And then we have, this is funny actually, because this is a repeat of last season's week 1, where also both these guys have been competing in Johto League, and they also faced off week 1 last season. And I do remember that because, first of all, it was the same outcome last season. The Talon Anderson won, actually. But I remember it because this was overturned like several times last season. Like, first of all, it was overturned because I think like JJ didn't bring a signature, something crazy. And then it was re-overturned because like either Talon Anderson did also not bring a signature or did bring a forbidden ability, something like that. I know it was overturned and then re-overturned, and in the end, I think Talon Anderson just won the match because they replayed it and he won the second time. Or something like that. I might be messing this up, but I know it was overturned a couple of times. Let's say that. But yeah, this time Talon Anderson just won fair and square 4-0. Takes a big week 1, a big win week 1, and also a big win week 2. So yeah, it looks like Jax and Talon Anderson are doing very well this season. Talon Anderson being our #1 for now, which looks like it's likely gonna stay that way this week because like the only guy who could in theory overtake him would be Wolfpack for life, but he would need to 6-0 his opponent for that to happen, which looks pretty unlikely on paper, I would say. And yeah, you can tell all these games have been really close, which is just exactly what I wanted from this division. Like, I'm always happy to have divisions that are well balanced and some close matches all around, which is cool to see. And I'm hoping we have achieved that with this season's Origin division. And we hope to see fierce battles for the playoff spots until the very last week. All right, that was it for the Origin division. Moving on to the last division we have today, which is gonna be the Lagoon Division, aka our Wi-Fi division, which we have a really stacked Wi-Fi division. This season we have Pup, who is a last season newcomer, who was the regular season winner in Wi-Fi division last season. Absolutely dominant newcomer, one of the strongest coaches in the league. Definitely could be repping for our PGP squad as well, but obviously we chose the representatives that have been in the league for a little bit longer and we know a little bit better, and So yeah, but he could be a potential rep in the future, definitely. Then we got yours truly, who has been competing in top division pretty much all the time in Showdown. We got Shadow Glade, our reigning defending champion. We got Ashton, who we know is really strong, at least when he's motivated. Then we got Mr. Volatile himself, DTN, who could either be the worst player in the world or the best player in the world, depending on the day. We got Ronan and Camel, both really strong coaches who are the only ones competing both in Showdown and in Wi-Fi. Reason being is that we didn't have that many applications for Wi-Fi this season, so we decided to have them play both because they did want to actually play both. So yeah, that is why and how that happened. And yeah, I mean, I could go on and on about this division. It's just great. We have Mike Haley just recently as a replacement, which is awesome. Jarok returning. He was the only one to defeat Fist to Your Doom back when he was dominating the league. We got the return of Final Gambit Shedinja, who seems to be getting, I'm going to go through the results, but he seems to be getting stronger and stronger as time goes by. We have the return of Master Joful after his exit from the last time he played was in playoffs when he when he drafted regular Landorus I and actually brought Sheer Force Landorus I in playoffs when he wasn't allowed to, and that's why he got this qualified. Hopefully this time he has read the rules a little bit more careful. And we also got a couple of newcomers. We got Michael Bet, we got VNH, and we got Locutus. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but he is new. So yeah, let's see. We got Pup taking the win week 1 against the newcomer Locutus, which is actually, I would say, it's not too bad. It's a result that shows some promise for Locutus, because yeah, Pup, as I said, is a really strong coach, one of the favorites to win this thing, in my opinion. And then we got the number 1 seed. I was voted the number 1 seed over Camel, which I'm really happy about. I was voted the number 1 seed, and I'm going to go into that because we got the same amount of people that voted for us to win this thing. And then I had 100% of people thinking I made playoffs, whereas one person voted Camel to not make playoffs. And I haven't checked who was that, but I want to sincerely thank you, because my ego could not have sustained being ranked behind Camel. I can't. This would have been too much. I would have had to retire from once. So I'm really glad that didn't have to happen. So I am the number 1 seed, completely justified. Disregard that I voted for myself to win, and that's why I got tied with Camel. But I mean, we don't talk about these silly things. Just sit down, Camel, and accept that you are the number 2 seed. Absolutely justified. Yeah, but I did win against Master Jofo. Week 1, really, don't want to say easy matchup, but I definitely had the matchup advantage there, and it showed in the game. Then we got Ashton, who lost to Final Gambit Shedinja, and that's a huge win for Final Gambit Shedinja. 5-0 over Ashton, really strong result. And yeah, as I said, Final Gambit seems to be growing into himself as a really strong contender in this league. He did very well last season, made playoffs in a stacked Wi-Fi division, which it was also back then, and yeah, seems to be off to a great start this time as well. Then we got another newcomer, VNH, against our defending champ, Shadow Glade, Mr. Wi-Fi Dad himself, running the league, running the Wi-Fi division at least. Taking the win with 2-0, but only 2-0. So this is also a pretty promising result for a newcomer, I would say. So let's see what VNH can do as time goes on. Then we got Jarok having the comeback against DTN, and he must have been up against like steroid. Like there's either steroid DTN or like coming down off of steroids DTN, where he's got like withdrawal and he's like in the corner twitching, and he will lose like 5 games in a row. But yeah, this must have been like DTN on the sauce, like right there. 5-0, really strong win. I saw it. It was a sweep with Terra Farigiraf. Got 4 kills, so probably some sort of setup shenanigans, which he likes to do. But yeah, Jarok, we also know he's quite a good coach, so we expect him to make a comeback this season for sure. Then we got Mike Haley Yeah, just see Exhibit A, Mike Haley from ETA coming over to PWC, and what happens? 0-4, completely lost, completely got smacked by Ronan. No problem. Like Ronan just backhanded him, easy. Yeah, like, you know, he didn't even like really move his arm. He just like from the wrist, you know, and like that. Mike Haley. That's how ETA goes down. Disregard that Mike Haley didn't even play this game, because that was the predecessor, aka RJ cut, but this is just the ETA curse carrying over. That's how this goes. And then we got Camel versus the newcomer Michael Bet 4-0. Seems like a pretty solid performance for Camel, as we are used to. And Michael Bet, I mean 4-0, still not too bad against Camel. Plenty of people have been 6-0 by Camel before. Not so Michael Bet. So let's see how she or he can do as the season goes on. And this leaves us with the following standings. Final Gambit and Camel have also played 2 games already, and they are both at 2 wins. Final Gambit +7, very strong. And we got DTN with the really strong performance. And then Ronan. Oh yeah, yeah. Final Gambit beat Ashton and Ronan in weeks 1 and 2, and that's just impressive, to be honest. Ashton made the comeback, beat Shadow Glade in week 2, so that's a really, really good win for him. See, like Ashton beats Shadow Glade, but got completely smacked by Final Gambit. So yeah, very excited to see him doing so well. And yeah, then we got a bunch of newcomers here on the lower ends. The NH, Locatus, Michael Bet. Then we got the Mr. ETA Curse himself, and Master Jofel and Jirok on the lower ends. All right, this is it. This has been our week 1 in PWC Season 11. I hope you guys enjoyed this recap. It was a lot of work again. Like I think I've been talking for about 2 hours straight now, something like that. Do not expect this to happen every week. It definitely will not happen every week, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one still. And with that, I wish you guys a lot of luck in week 2 if you did not play your game yet. If you did, then good luck in week 3 as well. And have fun, and see you guys in the next one.